You are listening to episode 2 of the Tuneful Parent Podcast. Don't speak. Sing.
Oh, my pretty baby. Oh, my sweetie baby. I just can't believe I'm yours.
Hey parents, you're listening to the Tuneful Parent Podcast. I'm your host, Joellen Sumner, the Tuneful teacher. I'm a vintage-loving crooner coming to you from the windy city of Chicago. My mission is to give you the tools to cultivate a tuneful home that will grow joyful, compassionate, empathetic, lifelong learners. I believe we are all born musical people, and I'm here to empower you. Tune in to learn easy songs, games, rhymes, and dances. Everything you need to engage intentionally with your children, all while building and stimulating their brain, nurturing their heart, and stirring their soul. Here's your backstage pass. Let's get tuneful. Okay, I may be dating myself, but are there any other No Doubt fans in the audience? Don't speak. I know what you're thinking. Okay, I love Gwen Stefani. Brings me back to when I was really obsessed with ska and reggae. And No Doubt being third or fourth wave ska. I don't even know anymore what that classification would be, but I digress. Yes, we want you to obviously speak to your children, but don't forget about singing. This is the Tuneful Parent Podcast after all, and tunes are meant to be sung. This brings me back to a teaching that Dr. John Feierabend mentioned in his training for First Steps in Music. We do not withhold speech from a child just because they cannot speak back to us, right? So why would we not sing to our child just because they can't sing back to us? It's such an important skill that I think so many parents shy away from, maybe because of that talent-based society we come from. But traditional folk music and rhymes, they have a natural melodic expressiveness, a natural flow of language, and texts that are really filled with wonder and imagination for a young one. So use your voice in lots of different ways. Sing for your child. Make silly sounds with your lips and tongue. You know, all sorts of fun little things like that. That really captures their attention, really ignites their creativity. Have you tried beatboxing for your child yet? Today's episode is all about how to sing for your child, and I'm going to give you an easy way to expose your child to a song through the most important voice they're ever going to hear, your voice. Talk singing comes really natural to me, and I've even gotten my husband involved on this. He is not musical as far as playing an instrument or really singing that much, but he is a big music aficionado as far as a listener and an audience member. I've gotten him to communicate with me using our singing voices. So we use common melodies and rhythms from pop, rock, hip hop, or country music. And just yesterday, I was talk singing about the dinner we had prepared. So I used DJ Khaled's "We the Best" line to profess my love for the blistered tomatoes we had made. I know, I'm a nerd, but come on, it's fun. I said, "We the best vegetables." And then my husband corrected me in the same key, "We the best fruit," which I thought was hilarious because there's that age-old debate about tomatoes being a vegetable or a fruit. We obviously laughed hysterically, and because we are huge nerds, and I went then into the chorus of the famed T-Pain song, "All I Do Is Win." All I do is cook, 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 no matter what. Got food on my mind, I can never get enough. Every time we put food on the plate, everybody picks their forks up. And they eat it, and they eat it, and they eat it. Okay, I'm really realizing how dorky we are now. But I really don't care. I was in the comfort of my own home, and I was with the love of my life. And we were singing about how our dinner was absolutely delicious. We made a really great memory together. And we will look back on that and smile and remember that. That's ingrained into my memory. Every time I hear that song, I will think about that time. And I might even make my lyrics known and sing it out loud, not in the privacy of my own home. Who knows? But this can be done with children of all ages, families of 2, families of 10. As we are home together, we have to become more creative and a little bit more playful. Not necessarily childish, but we have to become more childlike in our approaches to play. And musical play is so very important to a child's learning. Play-based learning is integral for their brain development. That's how they make sense of the world, through play. Sometimes we let complacency sit in, especially during this season. Frustration and sadness can creep in as well. Depression. We need this reminder. We need to approach every day with a childlike wonder and a grateful heart. Music is such a powerful tool. It's therapeutic. Use it when you or your child feel frustrated, sad, mad, or angry. See what works. See what doesn't work. The last thing you need right now is to be serious when it comes to music and your children. What you want is to be cultivating these bonding experiences with them at whatever entry point you can. Here are some other options when and where you can sing to your kiddos. How about in the morning? Try a morning song. Try singing to them, humming to them as they're waking up in the morning, and greeting them with a smile. It makes the waking up experience so much more joyful. Of course, at night with a lullaby. How else would you like to fall asleep than with the person that you love dearly next to you, singing you something beautiful as you drift off into your slumber? Try singing instructions or directions to your kiddos, something that you want them to do. It makes them listen more attentively and really catch what you're saying. And it makes that task or that chore easier to do or seem more appealing. Sing to them when they're crying. Sing to them when they're upset. Sing to them before they're going to have the tantrum. Anticipate it. I understand that you're feeling low. I understand that you're feeling sad. That's okay because I'm here and I love you. Just something silly and, true and also relevant to the situation. Yeah, obviously validate their feelings. Validate how they're feeling and say that it's okay to feel that way. And then move on to the next step. This is our choice today. We got 2 little choices today. We're gonna do this or we're gonna do that. Make your choice now. So giving them an opportunity to make the choice makes them feel more in control too, which will harness in those emotions. Sing them a story. This is what I really love doing, especially in my music classroom. I take a storybook out of my little library here and I make up a tune. I improvise a tune. I make it up off the top of my head. You can use familiar melodies to you out of a song or a genre of music that you're really familiar with. That's even better. But making it up and just going for it. That's what we're talking about here. Sing a story. Narrate what they're doing through song. Narrate what they're doing through song, and it'll just bring a big smile to their face. I think that is one of my favorite ones. I see you over there. You're playing with your toys. You're doing a good job, yeah. I'm proud of you. You're so very smart. And I can't wait to see what you do next. Just silly little things like that get their attention and they make them smile. Music is one of those things that makes us happy. If you're ready to learn the steps to be a more tuneful parent and cultivate a tuneful home, then you're definitely in the right place. But I have something extra special running right now for parents like you. My on-demand parent-child music classes are currently on sale for $10 off. Whether you're expecting, have an infant, a toddler, or a preschooler, I have the class for you. Each class is set up like a course, with one lesson dripping out to you each week. Incorporate this lesson in 20 minutes a day. It's going to be a huge win for you and your family. You could do it all at one time or throughout your day. There's even an app for it, so you don't have to be tied down to your screen. Put it on, put your earbuds in, and let me coach you on easy musical play with simple songs, rhymes, games, and dances to deeply bond you and your child while growing their brain, nurturing their heart, and stirring their soul. Ready to rock and roll? Head over to thetunefulteacher.com/courses. That's TheTunefulTeacher.com/courses, COURSES, and choose your child's developmental age. Once you're at checkout, use the code SPRING for $10 off the course. That's the code SPRING for $10 off your course. Happy musicking! All right, moving on to the next little step here. Not only talk singing, okay, now we're going to move on to singing nursery rhymes. So maybe you're not ready to freestyle and improvise yet. Maybe your speed is more along the lines of nursery rhymes, and that's a great start because you have a framework there and you have a given repertoire. Start with Mary Had a Little Lamb or Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. Hey, did you know the melody of Twinkle Twinkle Little Star is also the melody of the alphabet song? Did I just blow your mind right now? If so, great. Now think of nursery rhymes that do not have a melody, like Jack and Jill, Peas Porridge Hot, Hey Diddle Diddle, Hickory Dickory Dock. Now think about how you can put a tune to these rhymes within a small little range of notes. If the text is talking about a direction, move your voice in that direction. Be expressive. For example, use inflection to paint a picture through your singing. Engage your entire face in the retelling of these nursery rhymes through your song. If you're feeling even more adventurous, tap the steady beat as you sing. Tap it on your child. Clap their hands together. Maybe compose a short ostinato, which is a repeated pattern, and tap it as you sing. Clap the words as you sing. That's the rhythm. As you can see, you can take these ideas in so many directions and develop them. There are no wrong answers here. Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water. Jack fell down and broke his crown. Jill came tumbling after. Super duper easy and accessible. All right, my next tip here is to be vulnerable. Be vulnerable. Be open. Don't be overly concerned about your voice. It's your own opinion, and we are always our own worst critics. Get out of the talent-based mentality that our society has ingrained into us. Sing to your child like their life depends on it, because it really does. Here's an excerpt from Dr. John Feierabend, the creator of First Steps in Music curriculum, from his article, Music and Movement for Infants and Toddlers, Naturally Wonderful. The infant's job is to make sense of the world. While the infant's neurological networks are maturing, they encounter many sounds to decode, including language and, if fortunate, music. Even though infants cannot comprehend words, they are trying to make sense of the sounds. Gradually, infants begin to make sense out of words even before they have developed the ability to speak any of those words. This effort causes the linguistic synapses to be stimulated, which in turn signals the brain to maintain these pathways for future use. Did you catch that? The brain cells are stimulated earlier than when the child is actually going to speak. That creates a connection that cannot be broken or reaped away. Continuing. Similarly, infants need to hear and feel music early on if they are to begin to make sense of it. If certain neurological pathways are not built early, they will become increasingly difficult to build later. The time to build and maintain those information highways is during the first months of life. Thank you, Dr. John Feierabend, for saying that. Let's say it again. The time to build and maintain the information highways is during the first months of life. Dr. John Feierabend compares a child's developing brain to growing vegetables. Maybe let's say a tomato crop. We'll go back to our tomatoes. It's a fruit. Remember, not a vegetable. If you plant more seeds than you expect to use, right? We don't just plant what we think we're going to get. We plant more than we think we're going to need. And after the seeds have begun to grow, there's a thinning out process. There's a reaping of those that show least promise. So this allows the promising plants to have enough space and enough nutrients to prosper. The seeds that are neglected in the early stages of their germination are not even likely to recover fully. While the plants should never be neglected, it's more detrimental to neglect them for 2 weeks in the beginning stages of their development than to neglect them for 2 weeks in the later development. So the young child's mind is like that tomato crop. The brain produces an abundance of neural pathways. The pathways that show the most promise are maintained and intensified and strengthened. Those that are neglected will atrophy and will be reaped away. It is during the first 2 years of life that the brain will begin to determine which ones to nurture and which ones to reap away. In the book Frames of Mind by Howard Gardner, he reports, in human beings, the density of synapses increases sharply during the first months of life, reaches a maximum at the ages of 1 to 2. A maximum capacity between ages of 1 and 2, roughly 50% above the adult mean density, and then will decline between the ages of 2 and 16, and then consistent and constant until the age of 72. So parents, we must expose children to music before the age of 2. Their neural synapses are at their highest. Start talk singing, start musical play, start dancing, and listening to all different types of music today. Enjoyed this podcast episode all about singing for your child. Don't speak. Yes, speak. But, I had to throw that little no doubt reference in there. There is a video that goes along with today's podcast as well as a blog post. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, The Tuneful Teacher, so that you can get alerts to my new videos. And also, why don't you subscribe to my blog? www.thetunefulteacher.com/blog. Thanks so much for tuning in today. Just because this jam session is over doesn't mean our time together has to end. Head over and join my Facebook group, The Tuneful Parent. And if you're on Instagram, take a screenshot, add it to your stories, and tag me at The Tuneful Teacher. I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, stay tuneful, parents.